Official rains for some, others, we're starting to get too much of a good thing. Let's talk about who may be dealing with flooding in this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of September, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Building-in-Chief David Reimer. It has been a wet last 24 hours across portions of the big country, the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, Hill Country, even into parts of North Texas. I mean, we've seen pop-ups across several regions of the state, honestly. I mean, we could probably be easier to talk about who hasn't. And yesterday, Panhandle, and then portions of the Arklatex and Far West Texas have missed out. Well, let's just talk about who's getting in on it today. Here is the high-resolution rapid refresh model. Through the day, you can see another day of scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms from pretty much the Permian Basin, the Hill Country, North Texas, Texoma, the Arklatex, all the way south into the Edwards Plateau, Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley, Texas Gulf Coast, all the way up into southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, including everybody in between, which means a pretty good chance of rain there. And again, some of these storms are producing hourly rainfall rates exceeding 2 inches of rain per hour, and some locations yesterday in the big country picked up over 5 to 7 inches of rain. Big country, Concho Valley, Permian Basin. Some model data is suggesting we could be doing that again today with an additional localized 5 to 8 inches of rain. Isolated in parts of the big country, the Concho Valley, down into the Hill Country, south central Texas. So if that happens, flash flooding, at least on a localized basis, will become more likely and perhaps significant. So again, most folks, you're not going to be dealing with flooding, but some folks, you may end up dealing with way too much rain. Now, of course, if we end up getting that over a urban corridor, well, all bets are off, and it's just going to be off to the races. We're going to be seeing videos of cars stuck in high water galore, as is, typical whenever it rains more than 5 drops in the state. So again, that's going to continue today, tonight, into Wednesday morning. Shower storms could continue, and then as we get into Wednesday afternoon, we're going to start dwindling at least the chance for heavier rain, unless you're across portions of southeast Texas, the coastal plains, the coastal bend, South Texas, closer to the Texas Gulf Coast. But as you can see based on this depiction, showers could continue across inland portions of Texas well into Wednesday before we start to clear up during the afternoon, which means, more rain. And again, it all depends if you end up under one of these heavier storms. If you do and it sits on you for a while, you're going to get several inches of rain in a short period of time. Some folks are going to be lucky to get a drop, like the Panhandle. Not looking likely today. Rain chances also looking lower in the Arklatex. Everyone else, you can see scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms expected today. Let's just go down the list. Starting out west, Trans-Pecos, Borderland, El Paso, you're looking dry, mostly, but Trans-Pecos, Guadalupe, Davis Mountains, the Big Bend, the Permian Basin, West Texas, Northwest Texas, the big country, the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, Texoma, North Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, the Brazos Valley, South Central Texas, the Rio Grande Plains, the Rio Grande Valley, Deep South Texas, the Coastal Bend, the Coastal Plains, Southeast Texas, the Victoria Crossroads, the Golden Triangle, again, back up into the Brazos Valley, and then isolated thunderstorms and showers possible. Arklatex, East Texas, Southeast Texas, today and tonight. Tomorrow, notice how we're starting to build more of a, kind of a more sustainable gradient, I guess. Northwestern half of Texas, we start to dry out, especially in the afternoon hours. Rain chances dropping from scattered to numerous down to the isolated category. And then across the southeastern, half of Texas, especially the closer you are to the Texas Gulf Coast, Golden Triangle, Southeast Texas, Coastal Plains, Victoria Crossroads, Coastal Bend, Rio Grande Plains, Edwards Plateau, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms will continue into Wednesday night and Thursday. And again, heavy rain may cause localized flooding, but the northwestern half of the state, we're going to start drying out after tomorrow. As you might expect, based on the wet weather and cooler temperatures, the wildfire danger over the next several days across Texas is mainly expected to be low. Let's take a look at forecast high temperatures over the next several days. Today, plenty of rain. Guess what? Highs 70s, Northwest Northwest Texas, West Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, Permian Basin, Trans-Pecos, Guadalupe, Davis Mounds, North Texas, down to the Hill Country, highs in the 70s. Looking at 80s in the Panhandle, where we'll have more sun and not much rain chances. And then across the eastern third of the state, even with some pop-ups this afternoon, highs still making it up into the 80s to lower 90s before hopefully a drenching downpour cools you off into the 70s. As we head into Thursday, rain chances starting to drop off. Well, that's not right, actually. You know what? I hit the wrong button here. Let's try this. Wednesday, high temperatures, mostly upper 70s, low 80s, where it's still raining. Otherwise, notice we're starting to warm up a bit more as rain chances start to come down a bit, looking at mostly 80s to maybe around 90 across the state. And then as we get into Thursday, rain chances starting to drop off pretty quickly, especially once you're inland from the Texas Gulf Coast. We'll see highs returning to the upper 80s to lower 90s. But, overall, actually a pretty nice day temperature-wise. Temperature still a wee bit below average, even with rain chances starting to drop off. We'll start to change that as we get into Friday. Highs starting to pop back up into the upper 80s, lower 90s, mid-90s. And then as we head into Saturday, you can see mostly upper 80s to 90s across the state. But notice the clear lack of triple-digit heat for now, and that is quite nice. As we take a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook as we head through September 8th through 12th, below average temperatures continue to look more probable across the state, maybe warming up a bit with the heat dome that's going to be over the western United States, trying to edge its way into the Panhandle, West Texas, the borderland, but it's not looking all that bad, honestly. And then as we take a look at the probability of precipitation, you could see heading into a more dry weather pattern with the exception of the Texas Gulf Coast. And that is going to bring us to a tropical weather discussion. I'm not going to show you graphics. I'm just going to verbalize it for you. Essentially, over the next 5 days, we're not expecting tropical mischief in the state of Texas or the Gulf of Mexico. After that, we're going to need to watch a tropical disturbance that is going to be moving west across the Caribbean this week. Weather model data, some at least, ensembles suggest we may see development of some tropical mischief over the weekend and early next week as that tropical wave approaches the Yucatan Peninsula, probably moves over the Yucatan in a west-northwesterly direction that makes it into the Bay of Campeche, that's the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. From there next week, if we have a tropical disturbance, conditions may become a wee bit more favorable for development. And if that happens, we're going to have to watch it closely since some data suggest if development occurs, it could be significant and would try to move to the north. But I emphasize at this point, there's nothing going on in terms of anything we have to worry about in the next 5 days, but we'll keep an eye on that system coming in out of the Caribbean just in case, since that could be a troublemaker down the road next week for maybe someone in the Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico. And again, that's a big maybe, and certainly nothing to go adjusting plans for at this point, but we will acknowledge we are keeping an eye on it, and so is the National Hurricane Center. So that'll be it for your Texas Weather Roundup on this Tuesday. Besides the rain chances the next few days, we're going to be looking less active later this week. Temperature slowly warming back up, and then focus will probably start shifting to the tropics as we have to keep an eye on that disturbance in the Caribbean. You can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. And of course, find us here on YouTube, Texas Weather Center. If you haven't already, we'd appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button, give us a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe, get your daily Texas weather forecast, and more. My apologies for the comparatively low video quality. I went across the country yesterday and someone forgot to pack the camera. That'd be me. Plus my bag was lost in the mayhem known as the airport for a good 12 hours, so that was fun. New camera will get here on Thursday, at least where I am. So, yay, backups. That will be it. We'll chat with you all later. We'll be keeping an eye on the threat of flooding today, especially across the Concho Valley, Hill Country, parts of south central Texas, into the Permian Basin, Big Country. And remember, if thunder roars, yeah, I'm tired, go indoors. We'll chat with you all later. Have a great day. God bless.